The celebrations across the galaxy had lasted 3 cycles. The eternal conflict, a war that had consumed 17 star systems and lasted 800 years, was finally over. The Dominion and the Free Worlds had signed the Treaty of Proxima, their leaders embracing before 1,000 species. Weapons were decommissioned. Fleets returned home. Soldiers became farmers, traders, explorers once more. Peace at last. On the forgotten moon of Titan 7, beneath 2 miles of ice and rock, a single light flickered on. Captain Jake Morrison opened his eyes to darkness and the taste of copper. Cryosleep always left that metallic tang, like sucking on old pennies. The pod hissed open, spilling him onto the cold metal floor. His muscles screamed in protest. How long had he been under? "Computer," he croaked, his voice barely human. "Status report." "Good morning, Captain Morrison. You have been in emergency stasis for 817 years, 4 months, and 6 days. Jake's blood turned to ice colder than the cryogenic fluid still dripping from his hair. 800 years. The memory crashed back. The ambush, his squadron decimated, the emergency beacon he'd activated before the pod systems forced him under. "The war," he whispered. "Status of the war?" "The eternal conflict concluded 3 cycles ago. Peace treaty signed. Military assets decommissioned as per Galactic Accord 7739B. Jake pulled himself up, his enhanced military implants already flooding his system with stimulants and nanobots to restore muscle function. "Show me everything." The next hours were a blur of historical data, battle reports, and political revelations that made his stomach turn. The Dominion, the force that had killed his entire unit, that had glassed the colony of New Melbourne where his family lived, was now sharing technology with the Free Worlds. Their commanders were being given medals of honor. War criminals were being called visionaries of peace. But what truly broke something inside Jake was a single image. Admiral Corthax, the Dominion butcher who had ordered the strike on New Melbourne, shaking hands with Earth's current president at the peace ceremony. "Computer," Jake said quietly, too quietly, "show me the location of all decommissioned military assets from the war. That information is classified under peace statute." Jake's fingers flew across the console, military override codes that should have been changed 8 centuries ago still working because nobody thought to check in abandoned outpost systems. The screen filled with locations, mothballed fleets, weapons caches, dormant AI war systems, all waiting in the dark. "Show me the Prometheus Protocol." "Captain, the Prometheus Protocol was sealed by Joint Military Command. Activation would require command authorization from a ranking officer during active wartime status." Jake smiled grimly. "And technically I never received the ceasefire order. Computer, as far as my command status is concerned, are we still at war?" A pause. "Affirmative. Captain Morrison's status remains active combat operations." The Prometheus Protocol was humanity's doomsday option, a network of automated factories, hidden fleets, and self-replicating war machines scattered across dead worlds. It had been deemed too dangerous to ever activate, requiring a human commander's biometric confirmation every 12 hours or it would shut down. The perfect leash for the perfect weapon. Jake began the activation sequence, his DNA, retinal scan, and neural pattern unchanged after 8 centuries of sleep. Across 17 systems, lights began to flicker on in places that had been dark for nearly a millennium. On Earth, President Martinez was enjoying morning coffee when every screen in her office went red. "Madam President," her aide stammered, "we're detecting massive energy signatures across everywhere. Dead worlds are coming online. The old war grids are activating." "That's impossible. The war is over." 3 parsecs away, Admiral Corthax of the former Dominion fleet was reviewing trade agreements when his tactical officer scales went pale. "Admiral, we're detecting human military signatures. Thousands of them. They're everywhere. A malfunction, surely. The humans decommissioned there." "Sir, we're receiving a broadcast. All frequencies." Jake Morrison's face appeared on every screen in the galaxy, gaunt but burning with purpose. Behind him, displays showed fleets of automated warships powering up, factories producing weapons at impossible speeds, the entire dormant human war machine awakening like a sleeping giant. My name is Captain Jake Morrison, serial number 7-7, Alpha 9. 800 years ago, I watched the Dominion burn my world. I went into stasis waiting for rescue that never came. Nobody told me the war ended. His eyes were cold, empty things. Nobody asked me if I accepted your peace. President Martinez grabbed her emergency communicator. Captain Morrison, stand down. The war is over. Billions will die. The war ends, Jake said softly. When I say it ends, the Dominion has 3 solar days to complete unconditional surrender. Not to the free worlds, to me. Or I finish what we started 8 centuries ago. The transmission ended. Across the galaxy, automated fleets began to move, following the commands of the last human who remembered why the war had started in the first place. Peace, it turned out, was only as strong as the angriest person left out of the negotiations.